We rested many of our starters, and the outcome was as expected. Fortunately, the good stuff begins now. Our Packers will start their playoff run on Saturday night in Chicago. We're going to talk about it all next on your Packers Fan Podcast.
Welcome back and Happy New Year's to all you amazing Packer Fan Podcast listeners. I'm Dan Deiler, a.k.a. Captain Jack Sparrow, filling in for the talented shoes of Scott Clark, ready to bring the energy despite being on a 4-game losing streak because, I don't know if you know this or not, Wayne, but this is a bonus edition of Packers versus Bears week.
I sure do, Dan. And I'm Wayne Henderson, always happy when the Pack are in the playoffs. Not only extra games for our green and gold heroes, but also extra episodes of the old PFP. So welcome aboard, Dan. Thanks for joining in. Glad to have you here. And thanks for covering for Scott. Get well soon, Mr. Clark. On this 339th edition of the Packers Fan Podcast, we've got some highlights and some lowlights from the Packers' loss to the Vikings. We thank you for all of your listener feedback. We're going to share that as well. And then the good stuff, right, Dan?
That's right. And I got to echo your sentiments, Scott. Get well soon. You got to get back to the PFP and be ready to cheer on our green and gold as we go into Chicago. And as Wayne said, the playoffs are upon us. I am so ready and looking forward to previewing our wild card matchup in Chicago. I know we're on a 4-game skid, but there have been a lot of key injuries to players who will be back on the field to make a playoff run. And I really do feel like we have the makings of a team who could be that dark horse in the NFC. On this episode, we will cover and share our thoughts on the game yesterday versus the purple vomit that some people call the Minnesota Vikings, and then go over my keys to a Green Bay Packers domination of the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Starting off with our leaders from the loss to, I like to call the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
The passing. I don't even know if you can call this a leader since it was in the negative, but Clayton Tune, for what it's worth, was 6 for 11 for -7 yards. He had 34 yards passing, but he suffered 4 sacks for a loss of 41 yards. Rushing, Chris Brooks, 13 for 61. That's a solid showing from him. He's been doing really good all season, I believe. And here's a quick quiz for you, Wayne. Have you heard of one Jacoby Keeney James?
No, sir.
Yeah, he went 2 for 15. I've never heard of the guy either. Again, another name which we should all be very familiar with. Jamon Johnson leading the defense with 10 tackles, 3 of them being solo. On that opening drive, since we won the coin toss, we deferred, and our defense took the field first, which is a foreshadowing to one of my keys to a Packers victory. It was really good to see Trevion Diggs on the field contributing for us, getting into the culture, getting into the playbook. The jury is still out whether or not he'll remain on the team moving forward after we win the Super Bowl, but time will tell. And after a solid hit on that first drive by Keyshawn Nixon, J.J. McCarthy was called for taunting. Personally, I didn't like the call at all. Whatever happened to sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It's nothing more than some smack talk, and after a good hard hit, I have no issue with it. It just simply adds to the rivalry, in my opinion. Although we did let the Vikings offense march down the field, that taunting penalty did eventually cost the Vikings a lot of field position, and it helped our Packers keep the Vikings out of the end zone and force them to settle for a field goal,
which was much appreciated at the time. And then we finally got our opening offensive drive. Clayton Tune, future Packer Hall of Famer, who knows? He and the Pack start their drive on the 35-yard line. We started with a couple of ineffective handoffs to Emmanuel Wilson, followed by an incomplete lateral pass. It was a very quick 3-and-out. And Daniel Whalen, though, he came in, brought it. Fantastic punt, took a Packers bounce down to the 2-yard line. So that was a interesting way to start the game.
I loved it. After 2 games of not kicking any punts, I think he had a big leg. He wanted to put it down there. Honestly, I didn't really see a whole lot of lowlights outside of the play of Clayton Tune. He just had very little pocket presence. He was sacked 4 times for a loss of 41 yards, resulting in, like I said earlier, that -7 yards. And then he also had that fumble. 2 of the 4 sacks he had were a complete blindside sack since he didn't have his head on a swivel. In the NFL, you just got to have that ability to be able to sense what's coming up around you. I don't think I've seen a blindside hit like that in quite some time.
Yeah, that was no good. That was nothing I wanted to be a part of, that's for sure.
No, sir.
Another low light that stood out, although it was very brief, Emmanuel Wilson running around trying to find a hole, losing us 19 yards and almost getting a safety. That's the definition of oofta. However, though, Wilson was pretty solid most of the rest of the game. But that one play, I'm like hitting my forehead with my palm. Unbelievable.
Wayne, I am impressed with your grasp of this Wisconsin vernacular. With you're nailing it with the oofta.
Well, Sir Troy and Sir Scott have trained me well. I'm almost bilingual.
But anyways, the offense, aside from the 2 drives, was largely ineffective. 9 drives, 8 pumps, 1 turnover, and only 1 field goal just for fun. And to send the odds makers into a frenzy, claiming Matt LaFleur did it just to make sure that the Packers beat the spread of 13.5 points. I was reading today that he could have just knelt the ball, to let the clock run out. But Matt LaFleur has never, one time in his tenure as head coach, has been shut out. That's pretty. I mean, he's been coached. I think this is the 7th year, Wayne.
Something like that. And I agree. We had to take the points. We do not want to be shut out. Even if it's 16-zip, we had to get some points.
Not by the purple incarnation of Satan.
Nope.
As Tom Grossi likes to say.
Yes.
Anyways, while the game was better than the last 3 games where the team had no punts but still coming away with a loss, at the end of the day, this game was really meaningless other than getting a lot of backup players meaningful reps in a real game. Like I said last week, Wayne, this proved to feel every bit of a preseason game.
Yeah, by virtue of the fact that it was hard to watch, and I just every commercial break I was switching to one of the other games in the red zone just to see what was happening, and then went back to the game and all of that. There were some highlights, though. Our makeshift defense, I thought, did a pretty good job most of the game. They made some critical tackles, a few mistakes, and considering we were in Minnesota, we managed to hold the Vikings' first stringers to only 16 points with a few starters, a few second stringers, and some guys we never heard of before, but we held them to 16, so not bad.
I was really impressed with our defense after coming off the showing from last week against the Ravens. They got that strip sack fumble recovery in the 4th quarter, which was one of the biggest highlights in the game for me.
Yes.
I'm sure for you as well. In fact, I loved seeing and hearing Barron Sorrell's name called often during the game. Wayne, do you remember him from the draft?
I remember the name, but I don't remember details on how and when and what day he was drafted.
So he was the lone player still in the green room on day 3. I remember it vividly as I was actually there at the draft in Green Bay, and it was so odd to see Roger Goodell approach the podium with a draft card in his hand, because usually that's someone on day 3 and some of day 2. The person that comes to announce the draft pick is somebody who won a contest or a person that's battling a terrible disease who makes these picks or is a fan of the year, that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden he makes the selection, and out Barron Sorrell comes from deep within the bowels of the Resch Center to take the stage and get his hug from the commissioner. And he proceeded to walk out into the crowd and even made it out onto Lambeau Field. He made his first Lambeau leap. It's a moment I will never forget. And he ended up on the day doing excellent. 8 tackles, 5 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 quarterback hit.
Okay, that does bring it all back home, Dan. I do remember that event happening during the draft and thinking it was very special indeed. So I'm glad it was him, and I'm glad he got some playing time and made the most of it.
And yeah, he was there mainly in support of his teammate, one Matthew Golden, who was also a Texas alumni. Also, I was really proud of how well the backup defense battled all game to keep the Vikings, like you said earlier, to only 16 points after being embarrassed last week. The Vikings starters really had no answer for Jeff Hafley's game, and that makes me scared because I know he's probably going to be on a lot of teams' radars for a head coaching position next season.
Well, somebody was asking me about that at work earlier today, and I'm just hoping that the Packers will provide whatever financial means are necessary. They pull up the Brinks truck, keep him with the team, and I wish we could also pull up the Brinks truck and pay Malik Willis whatever he needs. Just keep these two guys behind Jordan Love and the defense. So I know it's not possible, but I can dream. And,
yes, we can.
And one of the big highlights, big surprise, we alluded to it earlier, Daniel freaking Whalen. He definitely got a workout in this game. It's amazing that our punter could be our game's MVP. Just ask Scott Clark. He'll tell you, well, after his throat feels better. But that was a lot of punting. And I saw a post after the game saying that he had 8 punts for 431 yards, the most punting yards in a game this year.
And 7 of those punts were within the 10-yard line.
Yeah, he's incredible. He is absolutely incredible. And in the post-game press conference, they asked him why he felt confident that the Packers could really make some noise in the playoffs. And he basically said, because we're the Green Bay Packers.
Darn right.
So there you have it. So wrapping up with our weekly poll question. Again, you can find it in the Facebook group at PackersCommunity.com, as well as on X at Packers Fan Pod, shortly after the game's done. This time, wanted to know, what do you think will be the strongest facet of our team going up against the Bears in the wild card? Will it be Jordan Love because he is back and hungry? Will it be our receiving squad, our running game, or the defense? Which one do you want to go with, Dan?
I'm going to have to go with the defense because that's been our strong suit all year. Jordan Love is going to be back, and he's going to be hungry, and he's going to want to take it out on the Chicago Bears. But our offense has proven, for the most part, that especially with all the injuries that we've had, Tucker Kraft, Wicks has been out. I saw Savion Williams is now on IR. But I think our defense is the one that's been keeping us in games because they've consistently been keeping teams to about 16 to 18 points. And anytime you can do that in the NFL, your offense should be able to overcome 16 to 18 points.
And I noticed that you said NFL, and that's usually the phrase I use. There must be some sort of official notice from the league to all of the television announcers, because they almost always, and way too often in the game for my liking, use the phrase National Football League. That's so many syllables. And even my wife, every time they say it, she goes, National Football League. It's like, I know that's what it is, but we could just say NFL, but whatever. That's a solid.
Is it syllables or syllables?
It's potatoes or potatoes, something like that. And I think defense, that's a solid choice. And I want to be able to say our running game, but I'm actually a little fearful of our running game right now. But I'm going to go with Jordan Love. He's back. He's hungry. I think he's going to take the field, and he's going to maybe get the revenge on the Bears just all by himself.
Can I get a Go Pack Go?
Go Pack Go, indeed. The votes after we combined Facebook and X, 74%. I was surprised that high went with Jordan Love being back and hungry. 16% did go with the defense, which I hope they show out strong for sure. 7% voted for the running game. Is this a bit of a surprise that only 3% of the votes think that our receiving squad is going to be the strongest part of our team Saturday night?
I don't think so. I mean, because the ball's spread around so much.
Yeah. So hopefully
they are catching the ball, and I'm liking that because that's a big difference from last year.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a 4-way tie. Let's go with that.
I love it.
So a quick reminder, please visit us in the Packers Fan Podcast Facebook community. Be part of the conversations. It's at PackersCommunity.com. and we invite you to join us for our live game chat section in the group during Saturday night's Packers at Bears wild card matchup. This is the game that really counts.
You know it, Wayne. Hey, be part of the next episode of the show. We want to hear your insights after watching the Packers at Bears beatdown. Let your voice be heard by either recording your voice and attaching it to an email, sending it to feedback@PackersFanPodcast.com, or calling the PFP voicemail at 920-3-PACK-GO. Please send your thoughts into us by noon Central on Monday. Thank you, and go Pack Go. As tradition dictates, the sooner, the better.
Hey guys, it's Jay Walters from California. How's it going? Well, that was just a terrible game. That sucked. I did not like that game at all. I haven't watched that bad of a game in a long time. Hate to lose to the Vikings, but it was like some other players put Packer uniforms on. It's just unrecognizable. Well, only thing that was consistent is they had a lot of penalties, like our starters did earlier in the year. I hope that don't carry through next week. Jordan Love's on the sideline, dressed full, helmet on, chin strap on, the whole entire game. He was just like itching to get one play in, I think. You'd think he would have, had his hat off and his helmet off and, been walking the sidelines or something. But no, he's just standing there ready. So he's just itching for next week, I think. Let's hope everybody's healthy. We have a much better game next week. And, of course, we get to play the Bears, so get some revenge back. Looking forward to next week and the podcast. As always, go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go indeed, Mr. J. Walters. Yeah, that game did stink. That was the definition of stinking. But I think it's kind of what most of us expected with it being a de facto preseason game. I absolutely agree with you, what you said about Jordan. He had every time they showed him, he had his helmet on and ready to go. And that just makes me really confident that he is just ready. He's just chomping at the bit to get after the Bears. This is going to be one exciting game, I think, Wayne.
Oh,
I also have to, I like his point about getting healed and getting revenge.
yeah, we can do it all on Saturday night. Jay, thanks again for sending that in. We really appreciate it. And I was surprised seeing Jordan Love on the sideline, dressed up, helmet on and everything. I guess, was he technically listed as the backup quarterback or emergency quarterback if something terrible happened to Tune during the game?
He was the backup. Malik Willis was inactive. He was a healthy I don't know if a healthy scratch, but they put him on the injury report, so he wasn't eligible to come in. And the other quarterback, Desmond Ridder, he was on the practice squad. They decided not to elevate him, which I think that's probably what they would have done. But had Jordan Love come into the game, I guarantee you would not have seen him throw a ball.
Yeah, saving all that.
Just hand it off.
And that probably would have worked pretty well because the Vikings defense would have been ready for a pass because he is Jordan Love. But, oh, well, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's just good that everybody's healthy. So let's take a look at it now because we want to put that almost preseason game behind us. So your 7th seed Green Bay Packers are playoff bound. But first, they're heading out to Chicago to face the somehow number 2 seed Bears. And much like Elton John sings in his classic, Saturday night's all right for fighting. This great song. This primetime fight will happen Saturday night, January 10th at 7 p.m. Central. Apologies to Brett Connor in England, Dictus in the Netherlands, Colm Nolan in Ireland, and all of our listeners overseas for this being an overnight game. The Packers, as you know, lead the series against the Bears by a healthy margin, 109 wins, 97 losses, and 6 ties. And what's funny is even though we've been playing against Chicago for around 105 years, we've only met up with them in the playoffs twice until this coming weekend. It's not even often that both the Packers and Bears make it to the playoffs in the same season. In fact, it's only happened 6 times in total. 1941, and then fast forward all the way to 1994, 2001, 2010, 2020 and now in this 2025 season. One of my fondest memories between us and them was November 6th, 2014. And if the date doesn't ring a bell, I bet when I mentioned that we were beating the Bears 42-0 at halftime will jog your memory, right? What a night. AR-12 threw for 6 glorious touchdowns in that first half, which tied an NFL record. The final score was Packers 55, Bears 14. Dan, can I get a Go Pack Go?
Go Pack Go indeed, Wayne. Oh, what a night.
Oh, man, it was so many hits in the 70s. This game coming up, the only unfortunate thing, in my opinion, is that it's exclusive to Amazon Prime Video. And I know that a lot of people have Amazon Prime and Amazon Prime Video, but not everybody. I know people that are like, where else can I watch it? And I'm like, yeah, at least here in the States and some of the countries in Europe, I think you got to have Amazon Prime Video. Sign up for a free trial, whatever it takes.
Unless you do something illegal, but we don't endorse that, that's for sure.
No, that would be wrong.
Wayne, my favorite Packer versus Bears memory was a game I was actually at. It was supposed to be Reggie White's last game as a Packer because he was supposed to retire after the season. And this was during the season. Well, I'll get to that in a little bit. Anyways, it occurred December 27th, 1998, 27 years ago. Man, that makes me feel old.
Hey, you know what? There's something about 27 this year.
I like it. I like where you're going with it. Anyways, that year I was stationed in Germany and I planned to come home for Christmas for the holidays. My mom had asked me what I wanted for Christmas and I told her, Mom, I have what I want. I'm coming home. She refused to let it go, so I said, maybe a ticket to the Green Bay Packer game while I'm there? Well, she came through and got me 2 tickets for me and a friend. She was supposed to go, but she ended up being ill. And we went and tailgated with a little Weber grill, the little small one, to see the Packers take on the Houston Oilers. And that was my first game ever at Lambeau Field. I'd been to one other game at Milwaukee County Stadium, but that was my first at Lambeau. And unbeknownst to me, that game has nothing to do with the Chicago Bears, you're saying, but she had also procured tickets for the next week's tilt versus the Bears. And she was supposed to go again, but she gave her ticket to me. I can't tell you how excited I was as the tickets were in row 10 in the corner of the end zone. If you're not familiar with how some stadiums designate the rows, sometimes row 10 is really row 10, especially in the corners because of how the rows line up. Well, imagine my surprise as I'm walking down the stairs and realize that row 10 is actually row 1.
Row 1?
Keith McKenzie had a pick 6. Ryan Longwell had a walk-off field goal, but my most memorable moment of the game was when Brett Favre tossed a beautiful flag route to the corner of the end zone, literally right in front of me to Freeman, and for a touchdown. You know how in NFL films they have the football perfectly in that tight spiral in the center of the frame?
Yeah.
And you know what's about to happen? That was that moment. The ball was coming right toward us, and I knew Antonio Freeman had it in the bag. I thought we might actually get a pseudo Lambeau leap in Chicago, in Soldier Field, but Antonio caught it and curled towards the goalpost. But still, what a moment. We ended up winning the game 16-13 after a walk-off field goal by Ryan Longwell on our way to Super 32, which we won't talk about right now.
That's true. We don't have to talk about that in particular, but that's a great story. I'm glad you made it home. And of course, thank you for your service. Row 10 turned out to be row 1 just because the flat part of the end zone has like additional rows that can get closer to the field.
Yeah, the curved part of that end zone. And this was before Soldier Field turned into a spaceship.
Yeah, hideous makeover.
Gosh. And now they're building a new one into a dome. Not real football, but whatever. Anyway. But yeah, the way the rows rotated or turned, row 1 was now row 10 in that corner. Fantastic.
Amazing. Oh, what else is amazing? The weather might be, I know we're both cold weather teams, but the weather might just make it extra festive because at kickoff at Soldier Field Saturday night, it's forecasted to be around 33 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 1 degree Celsius at kickoff. But there's a 55% chance of snow showers as of today. So, by Saturday, spring could be here. Who knows? But if we get snowflakes and all that, it's just going to be more magical. But let me just say this. The Chicago Bears franchise and the Soldier Field staff had better have the heaters working on the Packers sidelines this time. Make it happen.
That sounds like Aloha shirt weather.
Yeah, depending on how many layers you have underneath, they better have the heaters on.
They better not turn theirs off.
After that all those shenanigans last time, it's hard to believe that was just a couple weeks ago. We just play the Bears every couple weeks now. But my big question is, Dan, what do the Packers have to do to get revenge and beat the Bears? What are your keys to victory, my friend?
Why would you think I have keys to it? Oh, of course I'm going to have keys to a Packer victory.
I'm hoping.
Key number 1, score early and score often. Going back to what I said earlier, if they win the toss, take the ball and establish rhythm and dominance. Make the Bears chase us. We must dictate the pace and flow of the game. Matt LaFleur must put his big boy pants on and put his foot on their neck and step on it. Strategy number 2, please, for the love of all that is holy, contain the outside. In both games against the Bears, as well as a couple of other games I've watched, that we've all watched, they've had a really good pass rush up the middle, but then they either allow Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, or Monunga to bounce it outside for a solid gain. Hafley must get his players to play disciplined football and keep the Bears' offense in front of them and then swarm to the ball like a nest of angry hornets.
Yeah.
Strategy number 3, play disciplined football. Keep the penalties to a 0. Let's try that one. I know it's probably not feasible, but let's try.
Yeah.
Keep the emotions in check. Keep them in the locker room, and keep the emotions in the stands with the fans. This is going to be a dogfight to the final whistle. They absolutely cannot afford to lose their composure. A solitary penalty may cost the team the game and a chance to move deeper into the playoffs. A missed assignment, taking your eyes off the ball for a second, do not get lost in the fog of the game. And I'm going to get one more bonus key in here. Play as a team. They got here as a team. They've lost so many key players. Tucker Kraft, Micah Parsons, Devontae Wyatt, Savion Williams, Elton Jenkins. 16 players are currently, of the 53 original, are on IR. And I think that's the same number that was on IR in 2010, by the way. Losing the final 4 games doesn't do the psyche any favors, but relying on your teammates and training up to this point does. Drown out the noise and play your position. Nobody is giving the Packers a chance, but I know this team is made up of people who want to get the job done and bring home a win and send the Bears packing. And a little thing, you mentioned it last week. I really like that idea of the Taysom Hill comparison with Malik Willis. I think they should employ that possibly, but I don't see it happening, but I'd love to see it happen.
It would certainly be fun. Say we're ahead, 42-0 at halftime, and we come out in the second half and we run just some wild, crazy stuff like that just because we don't like the Bears. So yeah, the good stuff, great keys to victory. Nice of you to bring a bonus key. That key ring's getting heavy, but if we win this game, that's what really matters. So,
well, I'm not like Andy Herman. He has 12 keys to a Packer victory.
That's almost too many.
That's a little too much.
Just if they focus on your 3 and your bonus, that's what it'll take to win the game. And after all, that's what counts. So,
well, we're in the postseason, so we're going to give a little extra.
So with the Packers losing, unfortunately, they had less points when time ran out. Tell us how the Wagero fun played out this week, Dan.
Well, Mr. Scott Clark picked a score of Minnesota with 24 and Green Bay 17, and he was correct with the loss, but the point differential was 22, and our fearless host here, Mr. Wayne Henderson, picked 19-14 with a point differential of 14. So he wins this week's and adds another tick to his win total.
Oh, yeah. It might be time, Scott, to put that kilt that you promised in your Amazon shopping cart.
Yeah, Wayne's got 5 and Scott's got 4 with 2 ties. That's crazy, all the ties that you guys have had this year.
It's bonkers. It's bonkers. So it only makes sense that the Packers tied with the Cowboys in that game because who knows? How about in the listener section?
Well, I predicted a 27-13 loss with Minnesota winning with a point differential of 21. The rest of the picks don't really matter because I was the only one that picked a Minnesota win. But Garrett Stritzel picked 27-21. Thomas Carlson, Green Bay 21, Minnesota 10. And Jay Walters, Green Bay 24-19. And that puts the current standings with myself at 3.5 wins. Puts me in first place just by half a point. Come on, Jay Walters. I need a challenge because you're in second place with 3 wins. Third place, we got Brett Connor and Thomas Carlson tied with 1.5 wins. David Hawkins with 1 win. And fifth place with David Newman with half a win. And the season is not over.
No.
There is still going to be the wild card round, the divisional round, the championship round, and the Super Bowl. So there's 4 more points that everybody can jump on because we're going. I got full confidence.
Yeah, so keep those guesses coming. How are the predictions looking for Packers at Bears? Now, I know Scott sent his in. He said Packers are going to win. He's picking a Packers win. I like that. 20-17. How about you, Dan?
I got the Green Bay Packers winning 23-21. Close game because this is the way it's going to be. And Wayne, what do you think?
Well, I'd like to say that we're going to win 55-14 like that other game, but okay. The Packers are going to win, though, 23-18. Our defense is going to hold down the Bears to 18 points. Those are all pretty close guesses. How about on the listener side of things?
Well, we got Garrett Stritzel coming in with a Packers win of 20-13. Thomas Carlson predicting Green Bay 28 and Chicago 13. Jay Walters 27-24 with a victory for the Green Bay Packers. Tyler Seaver, also a Packer victory, 28-21. And the lone wolf. And like they do on the NFL Network, I don't know if you watch this, Wayne, but I'll do it for Brett. Woo! Brett Connor predicting a Chicago win of 24-17. And he says, I can't see our playoff run lasting very long.
Oh, Brett.
But you still have time to get your final score guest noted by posting it in the comments in the Facebook group, Wager Fun Thread post prior to kickoff. I got to say, I emphasize prior to kickoff. Some other happenings that caught our eye this week. I loved seeing the true passion in Aaron Rodgers' face after winning against Baltimore. I'm pretty sure I saw tears in his eyes after making the playoffs for the first time since 2021 with the Packers. His personal stuff off the field aside, but as a player, I just really like him. And when to see a player's passion come out like that and to actually have a visceral reaction, that really was special, I think. What do you think?
Indeed. Oh, I was loving it. It was a crazy finish to the game, but you play the game and things happen. The Steelers won, and they are the division champs. And our hopes of a Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers versus Jordan Love in the Packers Super Bowl is still on deck.
Did you see during the post-game stuff, the Pittsburgh Steelers, apparently they have a very close Catholic following, and they had a priest in the same end zone where Tyler Lute missed his field goal, and he was spreading holy water down there.
Oh, I saw that after the fact. Oh, boy.
Other thing I saw was Alec Pierce from the Indianapolis Colts. There was a penalty. He was ejected from the game for touching the referee, and he didn't even touch him. The referee moved his hand, and he touched Alec Pierce.
Uh-oh. But
Alec Pierce was the one that was ejected. That was kind of odd. Today, of course, this is Black Monday in the NFL after the regular season has ended. Lots of head coach firings. Raheem Morris and their GM was fired from the Atlanta Falcons. The Cleveland Browns fired Kevin Stefanski.
Whoa.
The Raiders parted ways with Pete Carroll, and he was on the first year of his 3-year contract with them, so they still got to pay him for 2 more years. And then the Arizona Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon was also let go.
Well, and there's probably going to be a few more to follow.
Yeah, and like I said, I hope that Jeff Hafley is not on anybody's radar, even though I know he is. I think he is just a great defensive mind, and he's such a better defensive coach than Joe Barry was.
And he's just a good fit for the 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers.
That's right. But I will say the best thing I saw out of this weekend is that after 106 seasons, the Chicago Bears still have yet to have a 4,000-yard passer, proving once again that, yes, the Bears still suck.
That's too bad. For me, although they're still in the playoffs, it brought me great joy to watch the Niners get destroyed by the Seattle Seahawks. 3 points for the San Francisco Niners. 3 points with their starters, okay? And granted, I'm not looking forward to us potentially going up against the Seahawks in the playoffs, but knowing that San Fran will have a little more difficult time in the playoffs than if they were the number 1 seed gives me hope. And to all the 49er fans thinking that they'll be one of the rare home teams in the Super Bowl, they won't. This is the year that an AFC team will be designated as the home team, get to wear their home jerseys, etc. So even if Frisco makes it to the Super Bowl, they will not technically or officially be the home team. So there. How much love do I have for the Niners? None.
0. Well, I will say, after we take care of business on Saturday evening, we will be going out to Seattle, and I am looking forward to getting that monkey off our back. I know we're riddled with injuries, but I think we can do it. Like one thing I've learned watching the games this year is nobody is too good. The Rams lost to Carolina. We've lost to Carolina. Like all these teams that are supposedly like the least amount of teams, they're the least talented, or the teams that are not projected to win. Sometimes they win any given Sunday. Exactly. Or Saturday, which I'm not a big fan of these things, but anyway.
Yeah.
Well, let's go over the entire playoff picture. The Rams on Saturday will face the Panthers at 4:30, and we will, of course, face off against the Bears at 8. On Sunday, the Bills at the Jaguars. That's going to be one heck of a game, I think.
Oh, that one I am looking forward to watching because those are two teams in the AFC that I really like. It's a shame that one's going to be going home after this game, but both quarterbacks are machines, especially this season. So the Bills at Jaguars, that's the first game on Sunday. Okay.
Yep. And then at 4:30, we got the 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. And then basically got a doubleheader at the same time with the Chargers at the Patriots and the Texans at the Steelers. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The Chargers at Patriots are at 8 p.m. And then on Monday night, which do you remember having a Monday night playoff game, Wayne?
I think they may have done it last year, and it still just seems weird. I thought we were done with Monday nights, except for recording the Packers Fan Podcast, but Texans at Steelers. Interesting.
And then, of course, on bye in the AFC, we got the Broncos getting their first round bye with the first round, or their number 1 seed, and the Seahawks getting the first round bye.
Okay, so that's going to be a lot of exciting football to watch next weekend.
Amen.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to watch, and almost every game's on a different network. It seems like, and we're on Amazon Prime. But
I just hope that we don't have to continue to. We're probably going to continue to have to. You have multiple subscriptions, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the way of the world. And one more thing. Well, thanks to the things that happened in a variety of the NFL games around the league, Sir Troy Heinrichs won the championship in the Packers Fan Podcast Fantasy Football League. Sorry, Dan. But congratulations to Troy, and we'll get a custom PFP Fantasy Football League t-shirt designed and shipped out to you, along with some other swag very soon. That was coming down to the battle, that final championship game. You guys were rolling in the points.
I forgot to congratulate Troy earlier. I thought I had it in the show doc, but yes, absolutely. He honestly he ran away with this thing this year. His average, his points for, which means how many points that he scored or his team scored, was about 400 points more than the closest next competitor. I think was me. I'm not trying to toot my own horn.
I understand,
but yeah, he put together a great team, and he took it to the end. And congratulations, Sir Troy, and your 13 Wixie sticks.
Indeed. And seeing those kind of numbers that you just mentioned, that explains why I was like second to last or something like that. So, oh, well, next year. Thanks again for all of your support of the PFP all season long, as well as during the off season. Jay Walters, thank you, and Go Pack Go for your support at the Bart Star level. And Mr. Dan Deiler, right here, next to me, virtually, via the internet. Your Jordan Love-inspired level of support warrants Go Pack Goes and thank yous as well.
We also have thank yous and Go Pack Goes for our Brett Favre level patrons of Scott Boers, Miguel Ramirez, Megan, our Lambo level supporters. Go Pack Go, and thank you to you all. Hank Davis from the Free Podcast Tools YouTube channel, which I do use, and Brett Connor and Joe Christensen. Check out all the details on various ways to support at PackersFanPodcast.com/giveback. I'd also like to mention that we need to promote the affiliate links that are on the Packers Fan Podcast website with Fanatics.com and Amazon.com. Anytime you go to buy something, I do it myself before I buy anything on Amazon or Fanatics. I click on the link and go buy my stuff, and it kicks back a little bit money back to your Packers Fan Podcast.
It all helps, and we thank you for giving the shout out for those and for using those, Dan. Very much appreciated indeed. As a reminder, the Unofficial Packers Fan Podcast is not affiliated with the NFL or the Green Bay Packers, but the best thing you can do for us is to tell a friend about the PFP.
Always tell a friend.
And even if they're not a friend, if by some chance you see them wearing a Bears jersey like Scott Clark today, tell them about the PFP.
All right. Follow us on X and Twitter at my personal handle is at Got Lombardies. The Packers Fan Podcast is at Packers Fan Pod. Scott's Gaming Outsider Podcast is at GoCast Scott or the GoCast. And then, of course, the fabulous Wayne Henderson at Wayne Henderson makes it pretty easy. And now, here with the PFP community members, Andre in LA, myself, Captain Pack Sparrow, Joe Christensen, and Megan with their outro and Go Pack Go to amp us all up for Wildcard Weekend and the game against the Bears. Go, 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 Pack, go!
Go, Pack, go!
Go, Pack, go!
Go, Pack, go!
Go, 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 Pack, go!